Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bachelor Trial Class, the BBA Trial Class. Hello. All right, before we start, just do a quick test if you can hear what I'm saying. All right. So we just wait for a few minutes until the rest of the candidates come in. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, just feel free to write in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to address all the questions that you have on the bachelor's program. Okay, we'll just wait for a few minutes before we start, just to wait for the rest of the candidates to come in, as we started a little bit earlier today. So basically, today's trial class, we're going to cover into two parts. Mainly the first part, which is the first hour. I'm going to be guiding everyone a little bit further on the degree program, an overview, on why should you be taking out a degree, and for example, and even though your study path, we're going to discuss a little bit on that. And then in the second part, I'm going to put the traffics to the class where you can, sit in through online, sit in and discuss, or even experience the class where you have this, the subjects today is known as the strategic management. All right. So we just wait for a few minutes for the rest of the candidates to come in, and then we shall start the session. Okay. So meanwhile, as I say, if you have any questions, just feel free to drop a comment, leave a comment, and we'll be more than happy to, address all the questions you have. All right, we just wait for a few minutes for the rest of the teams to come in, and then we shall start the session as soon as possible. Okay. Okay. So before I start my session, just want to be sure if everyone can hear. If you have any problem, just feel free to write in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to address that. Okay. Otherwise, we are good to go. Okay. All right, very well. I'm Mr. Sheng. Good morning, everyone. The program consultant of Manchester College. So first of all, thank you so much for joining in the Bachelor Trial Class today. So I'm basically Mr. Sheng from Manchester College, and we are based in Taman Tun. So today, this morning, we will have the BBA Bachelors of Business Admin Trial Class divided into two parts. Namely, in the first part, which I will be handling in the first hour. So I will guide you through on a little bit further details about the program, where we are from and what we offer and deliver. And then later on in the second part, I will then direct the traffics from here into the online Zoom classes, so that, for any interested candidates, if you want to later on experience the real Bachelor Trial Class, you may do so. So just for information, the trial class will be around 2 hours, so you can start later. And when you join the session, it will be 11 in the morning, Malaysia time, and then you can join until 1 p.m. Of course, in between, if you wish to, drop off the line due to other family commitments or work commitment, you may do so. As you can always just join in the session today, any point of time until 5 p.m. So it's basically a real class that is ongoing, which is from another channel. So as I mentioned, in between of this day, today until 5 p.m. Malaysia time, you can feel free to just jump in and out across the sessions to listen to the class. All right, let's just start with the Bachelor Trial Class today. So good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Sheng, the program consultant of Manchester College. So basically, Manchester College, we are located in Taman Tun. Our physical premise is in Taman Tun, KL. And of course, we have been, in this education industry for the past 21 years, graduated over 15,000 students from over 50 other countries. And of course, we have a lot of records in terms of students' achievements, performances, and etc. So basically for today, for today's trial class, so I'm going to split this session, my part, into 3 sections. Namely, in the first sections, we are going to talk a little bit further on Mentice College background so that you have a clear understanding where we are from, what we do. And after that, I'll touch a little bit on the study pathway after SPM. So basically, if you are a working adult, you have been working in the corporate world for many years or some years, and of course, if you only possess a SPM qualification, you should listen to this just for at least my session for the half an hour to 1 hour so that you can understand, what are the benefits that you can get out of the degree qualifications. All right. So in the second part, we will also talk a little bit further on, why should a, matured working adults like you needs to upgrade your qualification into degree level. There's no doubt that you have your, experiences in the corporate world, but of course, let me just share with you some of the tips. What are the students, our students coming from all over the industry, all over the states or other country, why are they taking up a degree qualification instead? And what are the benefits that you can take away from, studying a degree qualification? Now, after that, we will also talk a little bit further on, why our degree in business offering at Mentice College is unique. What are the achievements or, what are the differences, compared to other institutions that offer degree out there? Why are we different? So I can tell you some tips here up front. That's because it saves you a lot of money, it saves you a lot of time, and you will also get a proper accredited degree qualification. So we will talk a lot about that in the future, in the later slides, but right now, just let me finish the overview. Then, of course, I'll also talk a little bit further on the background of the university. Just for information, this degree qualification, although you will be studying with us, right, which means the program is managed and delivered by us from Mentice, ultimately, at the end, when you finish your program and qualification, this degree qualification will be awarded by the French university, which I'll talk a little bit background so that you know that their history, what are the credibilities, the achievements that they have. The last part, I'll just talk a little bit further on the drier stuff, which is the program structure. So if we are later on prepared to come in for the degree program with us, then you need to understand some basic program structure so that, you know what are you expecting, right? So just a quick one, history about us. So just very simple. So basically, I'm from Mentice College. We were established since the 1999. So as of this year, 2020, we have been established for the last 21 years. So throughout these 21 years of experiences, what I can tell is we have successfully graduated more than 15,000 plus students from across 50 over countries. So basically, we have dealt with students from Malaysia, Southeast Asia regions, like from Singapore, Indonesians. We also dealt with students graduated. They are all coming from South Asia, which includes Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Central Asia, which includes Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, even African continent as well. We have students coming in from Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and etc. So basically, we have a lot of students coming out, and of course, through our experience on with dealing with students from many parts of the world, from different backgrounds, I could say that we do understand what are the needs and requirements of each and every student here. Particularly for Malaysian candidates, if you're a working adult that you are seeing this, basically we have experience in managing a lot of working experience adults Malaysia, that is based in Malaysia, and we know exactly what are the handy tips that you can learn out of our program. So in the future, let's say if you plan to start your companies, you plan to do a career switch, career updates. So what are the skills you need to master in order for you to achieve that? We will tell you and guide you through along this way. All right, so let's move on. Basically, we from Mentice College, we are one of the institutions in Malaysia that are offering a 4+0 degree program. It means that basically this is a unique program whereby for Malaysian students, you can use your SPM O levels to apply directly into this degree program, which I can share with you the study path in the later slides. And of course, based on our experience, so as I mentioned, most of the students who study the degree program with us are the working adults. So 84% of our working adult students have successfully completed this degree program, in around 24 months. Yeah, so which means somewhere around 2 years, our degree students working it out are able to complete this program with no issues. All right, so these are some of the track records we have achieved throughout the 21 years of our establishment. And of course, I would like to share some of these achievements and as well what the students can get out of this program in today's session. Okay, so these are some of the awards that Mantissa College has received throughout our operations. So to clarify, we are a registered higher education institutions in Malaysia, which means that for Malaysian students, if you like to go for PTPM loans for your qualifications, MQA recognitions, or even EPF withdrawal, you may do so because we are properly registered institution, and our physical setup are all based in Taman Tun, TDDI KL. Of course, during this COVID-19, if you're from other states, you may find it hard to travel, but if everything's settled in the future, just welcome to visit us. We are usually open across Monday to Saturday on the normal times from 9 o'clock in the morning and at 6 p.m. So just drop by. You don't need to really make an appointment. Just drop by, chat with us, have a look, and experience the trial class while you can. All right. So basically, these are some of the awards that we have achieved throughout our operations. Basically, we were participating in the MyQuest, a rating system by the Ministry of Higher Education. And we're happy to say that since the first time until the third tier, this year is the third rounds, the ministry is doing the rating, we have been consistently receiving 4 out of 5 stars rating as the institution. So these are some of the standards that we always maintain, and we wish that for this year, because of COVID-19, there has been delay. We hope that the next year results would give us a 5-star rating. But so that will be decided upon the students' rating and satisfaction as well. Okay, so today let's go into the main topic. So what are we talking about? So today, let's go through some of the important understanding on the study pathway. Now, we understand that today's trial class is catered for those students who graduated from STPM. You may be working adults, all right? You may be working adults possessing a professional certification, or even with STPM, or even with diploma qualification, and you're working. And this is a clear overview study pathway for everyone, all right? So basically, this is what we usually do, right? So we start from the bottom, whereby most of the candidates will finish your secondary school. In Malaysia, we call it STPM. So international students or private institution students, you may call it O-levels, IGCSE, and etc. So like a typical study pathway of any institution, students usually will start here. And then after you finish your secondary school, that is where it gets a little bit messy, whereby in the market, we have students who go for STPM in Malaysia, A-levels for international students, or CPU for those who plans to go for Canada University, and AUSMET for those who plans to go to Australia. So some of these students may go into this field. That is option 1. The option 2 is some group of students after STPM and O-level secondary school, they may go directly to the foundation program. So this is very much important if you are a science stream student, you plan to start your journey as a doctor, engineers, then you may need a foundation depending on the field of your subjects. Of course, there are some students may also go for diploma. The reason why some students in Malaysia will, after finishing STPM, will go for diploma, that is because they want early employment, meaning that they want to get some qualification higher than STPM, so that they go for something that is faster in 2 years to get the diploma, so that they can take the diploma and get some work. So these are some of the pathway that the students may go through. So let me just go through some of the breakdowns so that you have a clearer understanding. Now, as I showed earlier on, after STPM, students will have various options. You can actually choose all these pathways, such as, generally students will go for STPM for Malaysia. The duration of STPM would take about 2 years, right? 2 years to complete. And of course, why Malaysian students go for that is because it's free. Usually you can study STPM in the government-funded secondary school and it's free. Why students want to take STPM? That is because STPM will give them an entry into the Malaysia public university. So if you are aiming for, getting into a public Malaysia university, then yeah, STPM may be a suitable field for you because it saves you a lot of money. You can go for that. However, for the other students who are not planning to apply for a Malaysia public university, and you have a lot of options. So that will include such as STPM, A levels, whereby students may need to go to private institutions or private providers that are offering A levels qualification. So they may need to spend around 1.5 to 2 years, yeah, around that figure. That is the average study duration. And in terms of the costing, because it's a private examination, so students in Malaysia would typically need to spend around 16K to 32K, depending on the providers, as I say. So just to clarify, a K means like 1K is 1,000 in Malaysia ringgit. Yeah. So if there's any foreign students that are looking at this trial class sessions now, this is just to give you a rough estimates on the costing that is denominated in ringgit Malaysia. All right. So the reason why students want to go to A levels is because they have many options. So at that point of time, they are young, they do not know what fields they want to study because it's a very general question. After SPM, when you ask SPM leavers, I would say that most of the students, I would say 80+% of the students do not know what they really want. So they will just need more years to think about it. They don't know if they want to go for science program or business program or art programs or something else. So they don't know. So if they need more time, usually A levels could be a good option because it gives you 1.5 years to 2 years to think about it. Meanwhile, after getting A levels, you have a lot of opportunity in selecting into universities. So which means that with the A levels, they can actually use this to apply to institutions that is based in Malaysia or even overseas. Yeah, this is an internationally recognized qualification. So that will give them an edge if they want to study abroad, such as in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, or even UK. They can actually do so with the A levels qualification. Of course, the third options, as mentioned, the third path, which is according to this chart, is CPU. CPU, it's the Canadian pre-university. So this is very much catered for those who have decided, okay, I want to take my degree or qualification from Canada. And of course, based on the preferred pathway by most Canadian university, the candidate may need to take a CPU. A CPU basically will, if you study a CPU as a student, you need to spend at least 1 year, and it may cost you around 30,000 just for the CPU qualification. And of course, the reason why students go for CPU is because they want to apply to a Canada university. All right. The same thing goes to AUSMET. AUSMET is for those who have decided, okay, Australia is the way I need to go. I don't want another country, and I just want this country. Then it is very much suitable for those who want to go to Australia. So it will cost around 1 year study duration to study. And a student needs, or the parents may need to prepare around 35 to 40,000 ringgit Malaysia for that program itself. Again, the reason why students go for AUSMET after SPM, it's because they may want to apply to Australian university. All right, so the next one, which we oversee, will be foundation. So we heard about it. A lot of institutions are promoting foundations, foundation of science, foundation of arts, and etc. Why do people want to go for foundation? That is because foundation, it is very much cheaper in terms of the cost compared to A levels. Yeah, compared to A levels. So just to tell you the differences in terms of these two, A levels and foundation. So basically, you can see the reason why people go for foundation is because of the costing. It is cheaper. It costs you around 10K to 26K, very much cheaper than the average cost of A levels. However, there is a slight limitation on foundation whereby at that point of time, before the students start their foundations, they need to be quite clear on the field. What do you mean by that? Because you have many foundations available in the university. You have foundation in business itself, you have foundations in arts, foundation in science, ICT, and etc. So each of these, it's only catered for that field. For example, if you have studied a foundation in business, after you finish the 1 year program and after spending money for the foundation, at that point of time, if you plan to switch to medical field, for example, unfortunately, you may not be able to do that because this is only prepared you for the respective business field. For example, the same thing goes for computer. If you're taking out a foundation in computing, then at that point of time, after you finish this foundation, you can only go for the degree in computing, for example. So this is the slight limitation compared to an A-levels, whereby A-levels candidates, after finishing A-levels, you still have options. As I said, you can go for science, arts, business, commerce, ICT, etc. So that would be the differences between these two, even though they are at the same level. Of course, as I mentioned, the last would be the diploma. So in Malaysia itself, in the education system in Malaysia itself, we have something what we call as a foundation, as what we call as diploma. I know that if you are a foreign students from other part of the world, for diploma qualification may be something alien to you. And that is because in Malaysia, we have this level 4 structure known as a diploma structure. So a diploma basically is a 2-year structure after SPM or after O-levels. It is prepared for to those group of students who want to get employment faster, which means that after my secondary school, I just need to spend 2 and 2.5 years to complete and get my diploma certifications, and it cost me very much cheaper, which is 20 to 60K. This is for 2 years, all right, for 2 years, depending on which field, and then you can actually use this as a proper level 4 diploma qualification for employment. Yeah, so you can actually use these to work, which means that you are now considered as a college grad instead of an secondary school graduate. So just to let you know, diploma level 4 is higher because it is considered as a college or university program. So meaning that compared to all this qualification, for example, STPM, A-levels, or even foundation, they are not considered as a official tertiary or college program. So basically those programs like STPM, foundations, A-levels, they are known as the preparation course, yeah? A program that prepared you to enter university. So if students who graduate from STPM, foundations, let's say A-levels or foundation, for example, it's quite rare that, when we go to work environment, no one will say that, okay, I only graduate with a foundation. It looks a little bit out of tune. Either people would go and go for employment would say, I graduated from a O-levels, SPM, but no one would really say that I just graduated the foundation, because you are neither here or there. Yeah. So in order to avoid that problem, so in Malaysia we have this quicker pathway, which is known as a diploma pathway. That is catered for those students who says that I just need a college qualifications, a diploma, which is higher than my secondary school, and I need to use this for work. So if these are the pathway that the students may be looking for, then diploma program is suitable for them. All right, so these are some of the pathway after secondary school. It may apply to other parts of the world. For example, if you are from other countries, these may be applicable to you as well, because these are quite an international academic pathway. All right, so moving on, general study. So just a quick summary, what we have just gone through. General study pathway after SPM and O-levels, as I mentioned earlier, would be a little bit time consuming. If you notice that it would take around 1 year to 1.5 years to 2 years on average for a students to go through those preparation program. As I mentioned, preparation program such as all these qualification, STPM, A-level, CPU, it's the program that prepared you into a university program, right? So it's only preparing you, give you a good concept on, what are the basics that you need to learn before you start your degree and so on. So these are all preparation program. So it may take you at least 1 or 2 years to prepare yourself. And then it also costs you money, because those programs, as I mentioned earlier, would typically cost you 16,000 to 30,000 to, study that preparation program. And of course, lastly, a side effect would be, and yet all these qualifications that you get, for example, as I mentioned earlier, is not an official qualification for employment, meaning that usually students or people will not use that to seek for job, because you are neither here nor there. All right, so these are some of the limitations. So it means that as long as the students started with those pathway, it is very much recommended for them to continue into degree program using those. So that is why, you know, when students go through an STPM A-level, CPU, OSMET, or even foundation, it is very much advisable for them to not just stop your education there, but you have to continue. Otherwise, you may be just wasting your time and money for all the qualifications that you have learned at this point of time. All right, so this is the general pathway that students will need to go through. But what if I tell you if there's a solution to skip all this? All right, so today I'm here to do this live broadcast is because I'm just going to share with all of you on a simple solution. That this is not a black magic, it's not a scam, it's not a scheme, it's a proper registered pathway. So as long as, so when I say to skip all this, it means that is a way for students not to study STPM. You don't have to study STPM. You don't have to go through A levels. You don't have to go through foundations, no diploma, no OSMET, no CPU, as I mentioned earlier on. So that is a solution that I can, introduce you today that will save you time. You don't have to go through the 1 or 2 years of preparation course. It saves you time. It saves you money. You don't have to spend 16K to 30K on average to get those preparation costs. And this solution is to apply directly into your bachelor degree with your SPM O-level, which means that after secondary school, you just need to apply directly into a degree program without going through all those qualifications as I described earlier. But of course, I'd like to clarify that this can only be done with a few conditions, as I stated over here. The conditions of allowing students to apply directly from an SPM O-levels directly into university, that is provided of this condition. So some of the condition is this is only applicable, which means you can only do so if you have in mind that you want to study a business degree program. As I stress again, it's a business degree, not medical, not engineering, not architecture, nothing science related. If it's a commerce related, such as business program, you can actually apply using SPM or O-levels as what we call it, apply directly into a degree without going through all those little preparation costs, as I mentioned and shared earlier. And of course, the second condition is in order for students to go through this pathway, as your SPM or O-levels results, which is what you studied in secondary school, you need to have a minimum score of 5 credits. So a definition of 5 credit means that when you are in your secondary school, when you go for exam, you took maybe 10 subjects or some of them 11 subjects or 12 subjects, for example. So out of all these subjects that you have taken, the criteria is you must have at least 5 subjects out of those with at least grade C, grade B, and grade A. Yeah, so that is what we call grade C and above. So as long as you have these 2 conditions, you know that number 1, you want to study a business degree program, right? Not foundation, not medical, not engineering. It's only a business program. Second, your score, your results in your SPM O-level, you possess a 5 credits. As long as you have these 2 in check, which means these 2 criteria in mind, then you can actually save a lot of money and time by applying directly into degree. And this is also applicable for working adults. If you are a working adult, you are now in the corporate world and you plan to do an upgrade, you know that I need to maybe start out my business, I need to learn business. Maybe I'm in industry, engineering industry. Now I have experience, I plan to start my own company, but I have never learned business before. Then this program may be suitable for you because that is the program, this is the program that will prepare you with all the business skills that you need to learn so that when you start up your new company, for example, you know exactly what you need to do. All right, so this is the program in business that will guide students in these conditions to get a degree university qualification. All right, so in fact, this pathway is not new. I'll say that this pathway, just a quick facts, we have, as I mentioned earlier in the earlier slides, Matriculation College has been in Malaysia for the last 21 years. And I would say that based on these track records, 84% of our graduates, right, have successfully completed our degree program in business in just 24 months, which means that they are matured working adults. They like to study this program on a full-time, some of them on full-time, some of them on part-time. And now we have the online program as well. They can actually go for either of these options. And most of them, if they finish or they follow the schedule accordingly and they do the assignment, do the exam accordingly, in principle, they can complete this program in 24 months. Of course, the maximum time it's up to 48 months, which is 4 years. So it depends on students. Some students would prefer to study slower because they say, I need more time, I don't want to rush. Then yes, you can take your time to study this degree program up to 48 months, which is 4 years. Or some of them, they say, no, I just need a degree qualification quickly. I need to learn something that I can use so that I can, do my things, promotions, or even start my company. Then you can actually complete this in 24 months as well. All right. So the second fact is basically we have graduated more than 10,000 students from over 50 countries on just this program itself, just this degree program itself. So basically, we have a lot of records whereby students, after getting our degree qualifications, they are now attached with a lot of industry. When I say a lot of industry, is everything. So such as we have students now working in banking industry in Malaysia. We have students working in port logistics. We have students working with government departments, because it's a recognized degree program. So they are now also seeking works with the government departments. We also have people or students graduated from our degree and they apply to other countries, such as applying for jobs in Singapore, for example, the neighboring country, or some of them even further back home. We have students, as I mentioned, from 50 countries. They are all over the world, so they have no problems getting employment back home in the country. The country, as I mentioned earlier, will include students coming from 5 continents in the world, such as the Southeast Asia. So just to repeat again, we have students who graduated and went back to Indonesia, went back to Singapore. They have went back to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Middle East, such as Syria, Libya, Iran, for example, and African continents, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe. So yes, all this country, these are all the students that they are coming from, and they have no problems getting and secured this degree and went back for further employment as well. And of course, other than that, we also have 23 students, or 23% of students, not 23 students, 23% of our students have successfully gained the concept and the degree qualifications, and they have successfully started their own business within 1 year after getting this degree qualification, which means that this program will also prepare those matured students who are ready to start your own company, venture, and then they want to learn some business skill because they have never gone through the official learning processes. They learn the formula how to do business, they learn the scope and expect in business, and then they have the necessary confidence to start their own company in 1 year's time after they have graduated from this degree program. All right, so these are some of the track records that we have. And in fact, we have a lot. For example, we have graduated and done this for many years. In fact, for almost 10 plus years, we have graduated students all over. And these are some of the graduation pictures that we have. We usually have the graduation ceremony on a yearly basis. So unfortunately, this year, 2020, we don't have a physical graduation because of COVID-19. But if everything goes back to normal, then we should have our next graduation events held in 2021. But until now, we just put the dates in March. We don't know if the COVID-19 situation gets better by then. But if everything goes along the way, then yes, we should have our next batch of students graduating by March 2021. All right. So just a quick summary: why study a business degree? Right? Why study a business degree? All right. So it is very simple. It is because a few things. We have actually asked our students, why do you want to study a degree program? Some of them, our mature students, came back to us and say, basically, they want to learn business skill because these are the students who are working in the corporate world. They think that they need promotions, and promotions, in the corporate world requires you to know more knowledge, which means that you need to manage more things in a company. So the skills that we will actually teach students at the degree level are across all the aspects. So for example, if you come in as a degree student, you know nothing about business, we would teach you from the area of marketing, for example. That is because marketing is very important in any companies. When you plan for a promotion or when you go for starting your own company, you need to know how to sell your products and services. That is why you need to learn a marketing skill. The second one would be management skill. For example, when you are promoted, you need to manage your team effectively. That is why management skill is the second skill that we need students to learn, right, after going through this program. The third skills that we want students to learn would be basic business law. Unfortunately, this business law is the basic Malaysia Commonwealth business law. So I would say that if you are a foreign students coming from other part of the world, not all the business law principles that you learn in the class may be applicable to you. Unfortunately, you can only learn some of the basic concepts, but of course, if you go back to your country, some of this concept you need to adapt to your country's law, right? So this is the basic business law that is very much helpful for Malaysian students if you do business. The next thing you may need to learn is also economics, so that you can smell the taste, what is the trends coming up, what is the economic conditions, so that when you do a service or when you're selling a service or products in the future for your companies or your own setup, you know exactly what will be the demands and supply required by the students, by the public, and then you can promote your product efficiently. The next thing that we will also teach you would be international business, because business, you need to expand, you need to, at a certain point of time, you may need to deal with foreign suppliers, foreign partners, you need to know how to deal with foreign people. International business would be important skills that you need to learn. Of course, in fact, there are many more skills. As I say, when you go through this degree program, you will be learning approximately around 32 different skills. So what I mentioned is only 5 skills. As I say, I don't plan to go through all the 32 skills, but if you are keen to know what are the things that you learn out of this program, we can have a one-to-one chat later on. You can contact me, and then we'll be more than happy to supply you with the information. But just for your knowledge, these are the skills that the students will be learning across the degree program. Now, the second reason why students want to take a degree program in business, for example, is to increase their jobs opportunity. That is because we also have younger students with us. For example, they are in the early 20s and they are now working in the corporate world. They want to have more exposure, which means they want to upgrade themselves so that they can actually apply to more industry, more companies with the skills they have learned. So for example, if someone that is working in the graphic industry for many years, they only know how to design good artwork, design for companies. And then we do have students coming from that field too, whereby they plan to eventually, at a certain point of age, they plan to start up their own design company. But of course, that students came to us at that time and told us, I only know how to design things, listen to my instruction of the boss, how to do things. I know I'm here experienced for 10 years, but it is time I think I need to learn something so that I can start my own company. So that students came to us eventually, and then we have a little chat. We talked to the students that came in the program, who's still now in the program with us, and basically, we tell them that in order for you to, prepare yourself to start a big company yourself with the husband, for example, then these are the things that you need to prepare. So we will actually guide them through on what you need to learn before you start up your company. So eventually the students sign up, and then now while she's studying the program, that student is also starting the business on the part-time basis. So she started off with the part-time basis. That's what we recommend, because we advise the students not to quit her job fully and focus, because you need to have a proven records without getting you into financial problem. So we advise the students to make full use of your free time. We call that the golden 3 hours time. For example, she finished the work at 6 p.m. We've always asked the students to spend the next 3 hours at night, such as from 8 o'clock, 9 to 10, the last 3 hours on the day, to do your business online on a part-time basis. So if you can actually start doing it, get some orders, you can do it, then you slowly grow your business from there. And we also taught the students how to actually expand the market, for example, how to do proper marketing, hire some part-time staff without incurring costs, and how to register your company properly, legally, so that you have no problems with the company later on. and how to expand the market share. So in fact, the students have been going through this for some time. We have guided the students for some time, and the result is good. So the students have started seeing some passive income coming in. So eventually the students told us, once she graduated from this program, if the sales of the graphic company increase further, then she may go into a full-time switch. So that is the opportunity that the students can get after getting this degree qualification. All right, so the third one would be increased marketability. So increased marketability means that, if you have a degree qualifications, if you plan to be employers, you don't want to set up your own company, that is fine as well. That is because we have done a little survey. So basically in this year, in the year of 2020, although with the COVID-19 impact in Malaysia and globally, so we noticed that there is a 13 million jobs available across the world, not just confined to Malaysia, but across the world, that these companies are looking for a minimum degree holder to apply. So meaning that if you have a degree qualification, and it will be a bonus if you are a matured working adult, you have at least 5 years, 10 years of working experiences, then with this degree qualification, it gives you an increased marketability, because more and more companies out there now are looking for hiring staff that have a minimum degree qualification. All right, so that would actually increase your marketability. The next one would be the increased earning. So yes, we all know that why education is important. We all have a sense that companies are hiring higher qualified candidates into their working company. And in terms of the payments, the salary, I'll just say that this is based on an average, not confirmed, not necessary, depending on where you are from. As I said, this is just a quick survey we have done from many sources and research, that if a fresh grad without, which means zero experience, you have never worked before, you studied throughout your life, and if a student who graduated from a diploma qualification, as I mentioned, a level 4, then the students may be earning somewhere around 520 per week on average. So as I stress again, this is just based on an average figure. It's not necessarily applicable to you. It depends on your industry. As I say, this is a very general comment because we just put a general numbers inside once we have done the survey. So generally, a person with just STPM, O-levels, or diploma qualification, for example, they may be receiving about 520 a week, or if you convert that to a monthly salary, it will earns them somewhere around 2,000 ringgit plus a month, depending on your territory where you're coming from. So of course, surprisingly, if we have done a survey, if a person gets a degree qualifications and with zero so-called experience in working, then that person with a degree qualification will get at least 700 ringgit per week. Or in a month, we call it around 2,008, close to 3,000 ringgit per month of salary. As I said, this is based on a general guide. It depends on your industry and where you are coming from. But what we try to present here is there is a potential increase in earnings, which means that this is basically a ticket for you to get a higher scale rate of salary with a higher qualification. All right, so let's move on. So why study degree business with Matriculation College? So just a quick summary, as I mentioned earlier on, we are the providers. So we actually teach students, and basically when you apply with us, you will be studying with us at Matriculation College. As I say, we have 3 study options. Basically, students can actually go for Monday to Friday classes. That is suitable for younger candidates, which means you are just after STPM, and you are somewhere around 19 years old, and you are not working, then I would usually recommend students to go for the Monday to Friday classes. However, if you are a working adult, you are working Monday to Friday, you are working and you need to study a part-time program, then we have the second options that is called the weekend classes. So the weekend classes means that the classes are held on the selected weekends, and you will study through the same program on the weekend basis. I'll go into the program details later. So the third one is the newly launched online degree program, whereby if you are students from other states, other from Kuala Lumpur, or even if you are foreign students outside of Malaysia, and because of COVID-19 or because of your work and family, you cannot travel to Malaysia, it costs you a lot on your time, then you may actually consider taking out the online degree program as well. So these are the three structures that we have. So basically, back to here, why study degree from Manchester College? It's very simple. We have the experience. We have been established since the 1999, and as of this year, we are now 21 years in operation, which means that throughout these operations of 21 years, we have graduated more than 15,000 students over 50 countries from this program. All right, so basically, we know exactly what you want, what's your requirements, what's your establishment, which means your culture on your respective country. So we have, in fact, we have also dealt with students from master's level, just for your knowledge, and we have also graduated students from a doctorate level at a high level. So these are all the experiences that we have in managing our students. So we know exactly how to guide students on how to set up a company, how to grow your industry, give you a good advice. That is because we also have a lot of experienced lecturers who have at least 15 years to 20 plus years in the respective industry that they have been guiding students across this year. All right. So the second reason why study degree with us is because we have the records of producing entrepreneurs. So just for your knowledge, we have 26% of our students have successfully started their own business within 5 years. So after graduating this degree program, all right, so we have them actually, started own company. As I mentioned earlier, we guided them on how to start up the business and etc. So we have experience in dealing with students, guiding them on how to do business. Now, the third one is for job promotions. So as I say, based on our records, 64% of our students have successfully received job promotions within 1 year after graduating from the degree program. So what happened is we have a lot of proven formulas that guided students know what are the things that you need to do in corporate world so that you can stand out yourself, the boss will notice you. So how to increase your performance in terms of sales, marketing, or even your management skills. We have those tips to guide you through so that you can get better promotions after going through this program, as we will teach you all this formula across the way. Okay. The next one is, I'll just go through a quick one. Just for information, for students who actually studied the degree program with us, just for information, this program is the in collaborative program. In collaborative means that at the end of this qualification, students will be receiving a French awarded degree qualification. Yes, you will be studying with us, it will be monitored by us, it will be taught by us, but at the end of this, since this is a collaborative program, at the end of this, you will be receiving this degree qualification that is awarded by a French university. Now, the French university that is awarding this qualification is known as the Paris Graduate School of Management. In short, we call it PGSM. So basically, this is a university, it's a private university that is located in France. And of course, in English, the name is called École Supérieure de Gestion. So basically, they have around 6 campuses in Paris, France. And of course, they have an active students, they have an active students that is around 6,000 students in the campus for now. And of course, the ranking of that university is ranked 16 across 250 universities in France last year, in 2019. And of course, in Paris itself, the capital of France itself, they are now ranked 30 across 250. All right, so these are some of the history and achievements by the university, so that you know that when you graduate and get this qualification, these are the qualifications that you can actually use to apply for other jobs in other countries or even in European Union as well. Okay, now move on to the next one, which is the program structure, just a quick one. So by studying through this degree program with us, you need to understand some of the basic program structure. Now, the program structure is basically the things that you will be going through. So basically, you will be studying a Bachelor of Business Administration program. In short, we call it BBA, and which this qualification is awarded by the French university, as I mentioned, the Paris Graduate School of Management, France. So basically this program, although is awarded by a French university, but the entire syllabus and lectures are all taught in English only, which means that all the assessments, examinations, or even the syllabus, the lectures are all taught in English. That is because we in Malaysia, we are a Commonwealth country. Unfortunately, we don't speak French. So that is why we are delivering this in English, all right? So it is easier for students. You don't have to learn French, and then everything will be done in English, easier for you to attempt, all right? So in terms of the study duration, as I mentioned, we have two structures. One is the face-to-face structure and one is the online structure. For students who are going for the face-to-face structure, you will have to go through a minimum 6 semesters to maximum 12 semesters. Just to clarify, in a year, we have 3 semesters in a year, namely what we call the January semesters, the April semesters, and the August semesters. So these are the 3 semesters in a year. So when we say minimum 6 semesters here, it means that your study duration for this degree will be around 2 years minimum to maximum 4 years. All right. So if you are, the same thing goes for online. If you're going for the online degree program, the minimum study duration is 24 months for online program, and the maximum study duration for students to go through is 48 months for the online program. Okay, so in terms of credits, just for those who are keen to find out how much is the credits, credits is basically the international standards, or we call it the education credits. So when you finish a degree from us, or from other university, when you finish a degree in Malaysia, for example, you will all graduate with at least 120 credits. So for our program, it's a little bit higher, just 2. So it's going to be 122 credits hours when you graduate from this program. It simply means that, very simple, when you finish your degree program, you can actually use the same degree and apply for a master's qualification, if you plan to do so, from us or from other institutions, public, private, university in Malaysia as well. So those are the acceptable qualifications and credits. Now, in terms of the accreditations for Malaysian students, if this program is fully accredited, we would say yes, it's fully accredited, so that, you know, for those Malaysian students who wish to work in the government department in the future, you may do so as well, because this qualification is recognized by the JPA. Okay, so it means that if you plan to apply for any government position, you may also do so. But of course, if you are working in the private sector, it is okay, which means you can use this qualification to apply in any of the private companies. All right. So in terms of the class structure, it's very simple. So how the class structure works. So this is focusing on the those students, working adults who want to study this program. So for working adults, your study structure, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be conducted through weekends, right? So for working adults, if you're going through this program, the subjects would be delivered to you in modular basis. So in our definition, a modular basis means that one subject is offered in a month. So which means you only do one subject in a month. So how do we arrange the class schedule? Is very simple. Assuming that in a month we have 4 weekends. So the first weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, for example, you will need to attend classes from, let's say, 10 o'clock in the morning and at 5 p.m. for both days. After that, across weekend 2 to weekend 4, there's no class. So weekend 2 and 3, you can actually do other commitments, such as spending time with your family, or if you have work, you can actually continue with that. Or otherwise, all you need to remember is the weekend 4, all right, weekend number 4, you need to do 2 things. The first one is to submit your assignment on the weekend number 4 through online, the portal. You will have a student portal later. You need to submit that. The words for your assignment is around 2,005 words per subject. So you need to submit that. And of course, on weekend number 4, you're also required to do a 3 hours exam at the degree level. So for now, all these examinations are done through online because of COVID-19. But of course, on normal times, it depends. If you are an online student, you can submit your exam through online. But if you are applying for the face-to-face mature working adults classes on the weekends, then you need to come back to our institution on the weekend 4 to do a 3 hours exam. So we will discuss that later once you apply, so that you have a clearer understanding on your pathway. So basically, this is the example of the class schedule that the students will have to go through. And of course, all you need to do is just to repeat this again for another week, for another month for the subjects 2, and so on. In fact, you will be going through all this structure, the same arrangement until you complete this degree qualification. Okay, so moving on to the last component before I end this session will be the fees then, the fee structure. So basically the program fee structure is very straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, we have three structures. So basically we have three groups of students. The first group is for the Malaysian candidates who actually wants to apply for a face-to-face classes. Yeah. The second one is for international students who want to apply for a student visa and you need to attend a face-to-face classes. The third one is it's for both Malaysia and foreign students who wish to apply for online program, which means in the future, even though after COVID-19 ended, you just want to attend the online program, then this fee structure is applicable to you. So how we do the fee structure is very simple. Basically, we don't have a fee structure. Students, you yourself will have to decide your total cost fee. So for this structure, very simple. For this, as long as you're applying for a face-to-face classes, you will be billed by semester structure. So as I mentioned, there are only 3 semesters in a year, the January semesters, the April semesters, and the August semesters. So if you're applying for a face-to-face class as a Malaysian student, for example, the first semester, let's say in January, you're coming in, you need to just pay 5,000 ringgit. Of course, for Malaysian students, you can apply for EPF, PTPMs to fund partial this payment, right? But this is just generally, I just explained. The first semester, you will be billed once. And then the second semester, such as in April, you will be billed 4,500. And in August, then again, we will bill you 4,500 in August. So basically, every single semesters in January, April, August, we will just bill students 4,500 until you complete this program. Now, the definition of complete means that you have finished and passed all the 32 subjects under this program. That is the definition of complete. All right. So as I mentioned, mentioned 86% of our students are. The same thing goes for international students. If you're applying with a visa, you plan to study with us on a face-to-face basis, then the way of calculations remains the same, whereby in the first semester in January 2021, for example, you will be 15,000. That will include your year 1 visa fee, your application fee, your insurance, your medical checkup, etc. So no extra fees will be charged, just one lump sum for the first payment. Then after that, for your April 2021, August 21, January 2022, you will be charged only 4,500 per semesters until you finish this program. Now, the third category is for the online students. So you will need to notice that the online students, you will be charged by month, not by semesters. So very simple. If you plan to start your online degree program by January, then January, you just need to pay 3,000 on the first month. And then February onwards, February, March, April, every single month, we'll just bill you 1,000 until you complete this program. So if you are able to complete this in minimum 24 months, you just times this figure by 24 months to get the rough ideas. Again, just to stress for Malaysian students, if you plan to withdraw for EPF, PTPM, you may do so as well. If you're keen, just contact our program consultant. We will then guide you through on the necessary steps that you need to do to apply for those financial options. Okay, moving on, what next? So if you have any questions, please feel free to write in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to answer all the questions you have. Don't be shy, just write down the questions. I'll answer all of them. And otherwise, to apply, it's very simple. If you're ready to apply with us, the next intake will start in January 2021. All you need to do is just to email, or you can actually WhatsApp to us at this number, the following documents. We just need 2 documents. Basically, the first one is your scanned copy of your SPM, O-levels, IGCSE, WAEC, SSC, etc., depending on where you are coming from. The second one is only for international students. If you are the international students and you plan to actually apply it, and then what you need to do is you need to scan a scanned copy of your passport. That is all. Okay, so moving on, what next? For those who are cleared and you're ready to join the trial class now, what you need to do is to just, I'm going to send you this link in the chat box. Okay, what you need to do is just to click on this chat box. Sorry, in this chat box here, now you have this link. Yeah, what happened is you just need to click the links provided in the chat box, and then you will be directed to a attendance taking page. The attendance taking page, basically, you just need to fill out your names, emails, and contact number. Once you have filled it up, you have taken your attendance, then immediately we will show you the Zoom login with the password. That is where you join in the real class for the trial class today. So to clarify, the trial class today will be strategic management. You can actually do so by joining in the class. As I said, it will end at 5 p.m. So in between of this time, you want to go for lunch or anything, you want to rest, you can actually log out and you can come back in any point of time as you want by 5 p.m. So this is the trial class that you can enjoy. It's free of charge. You can join, sit in the class, and discuss the matter with your students or your lecturer as well. All right. So what happened is, once you log in, we just appreciate you can just change your name in the guest in front of your name, so that the lecturers know exactly who you are. So this is what you need to do. What you need to do is just to click the links, fill up the attendance, and then we will give you the links to join the Zoom classes. All right, that is all then. So thank you so much for your time. Basically, it's been a pleasure for me to share with you all these program and details. As I said, we are reachable here, unreachable here. If you have any questions on the program structure, which is not clearly covered in this videos or live session, please feel free to come back to us. I'll be more than happy to assist you from there. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll just do a quick check. You can just write in the comment box to ask questions. As I said, I'll be more than happy to guide you through with all the questions. All right, so if there's no questions, what you need to do is just to click the links. Register is free of charge. You just need to take your attendance, write your name, emails, and telephone numbers, and then we will display the Zoom link and the password for you to join the sessions immediately, right? So if you have no more questions, that would be all. That ends my first part of the session. So yeah, thank you so much. And of course, please feel free to contact us if you have further questions. Yeah, if you have further inquiries, please feel free to contact us. Okay, thank you so much and have a great weekend.